All right, so I have got it all cleaned up. Boy, was it dirty. Which a lot of people would say that is a sign of poorly maintaining your saw. And maybe it is. I see it as a sign this saw got worked. But you know, most people don't clean their saws. And all the people, that's what I find anyways, you know. I speak in absolutes, but what I find is most people do not clean their saws ever. And then you have the people that are really good about cleaning their saws, and they act like it's a mortal sin if you don't clean it. So, I don't know, potato, whatever. I don't really care so much. But I've been going through finding all the little tiny things that you guys don't even want to see about, tightening up some bolts and stuff like that. And what I found, I figured I'd show you this. So this is the chain adjustment screw. The bar tensioner, whatever you want to call it. And it was completely, focus, there we go. It was completely ground off. So that tells me they wanted to put a different bar on here than what it required. So I welded that little nub. So I'm going to go over to the grinder right now and grind that out. So that it'll be more like factory. And I'll get back to you. Da-da. There you go. My guess is that'll probably work swell. There you go. So, I've said it before and I'm saying it again. The one tool that I hope to never in my life, ever again be without is a welder. You can just do so many things with a welder. Like that right there. I mean, forget about the money. The inconvenience of having to wait for that. Oh, what a pain. What a pain. What a pain. Okay, there's that. Now on this side, the pull cord, with me, doesn't pull all the way back in. Well, I hate that. So we're going to try and fix that right quick, fast, and in a hurry. All right, the starter cord is not quite long enough, but we're going to work with it just the same. All the same. It's going to be fine. Well, either these two screws are not long enough, or both of these holes up front are stripped. Can't tell right now. But what we're going to do, the guy said that all it needed was fuel and it would run. Now, with the power of deduction, I have figured out that this saw probably has not ran in a very long time. So, what do I think? Do I think that it's going to run or not? Honestly, it could go either way. But I checked the fuel tank, and it is not simply out of fuel. It is bone dry. What that means is that it didn't just simply run out of fuel and he hasn't put more fuel in it. All of the fuel in there has evaporated off and is gone. So that tells me it has been a very long time since this has been actually ran. Do I believe the man, in the manner that last time he ran it, it was running fine? Yes, I do. But it could have been 2 years ago that he ran it. Maybe not that long, maybe 5 months. Either way, a lot can happen whenever time passes. And so it could be up in the air. Maybe it'll run, maybe it won't. But let's put some fuel in it and see. I would actually put my money on yes, this is going to run. Because the fuel lines do look good. And that's it. That's the reason. That's the why. So we're about to find out, ain't we? All right. Now, I don't have the air filter on here. Air filter is on top of my stove drying out because I cleaned it off whenever I was spraying this and cleaning it up. Okay, we got chokes on. Here we go. Should have fired. Should have fired by now. Well, let's see if it's getting spark. Come on. Yes, we have spark. Clear it out. I could have gotten some water down in there, and that could be causing a problem. All of the moisture. Because, you know, I did pressure wash this. We're still on. All right, let's do a squirt of fuel. There we go. Well, we know it's got compression because I can feel it. We know it's got spark because I just saw it. And we know that it's got fuel because I just squirted it in there. But the spark may be too weak to ignite. The cylinder could be flooded with fuel. By doing it like this, you are, and I want to, this right here helps to lube up that piston. Squirting some actual fuel down in there. But it could be full of water, and this is causing a problem. So we want to clear out that cylinder. We're going to try a new spark plug, if we got one, which I'm sure we do. Definitely got good spark on this one. Okay. I am very happy about this because I have had two Husqvarna 257s through my hands. One of them I ported. The other one, it ran good. It did. It always fired up and ran just like this. But I never could get it to, I mean, it was just like so lackluster, you know. For it being 57 cc's, I would much rather have the, 53 cc Husqvarna 55. So, and then the other one I ported, and it ran better. It ran better. But at that time, I wasn't cutting squish at all. And Pat Cajun, he has made some really good, strong 257s. Well, he was cutting the squish. And I tried it with his numbers, but without cutting the squish, and it just wasn't as good. You know, it just wasn't as good. Didn't have the compression. And it was good. It was a good running saw, but nothing special. This would be the first time I've ever ran a 262, which is the same saw as the 257, just a different cylinder. Maybe it has a different carburetor, I'm not sure. But the cylinder on this is closed port, and it's supposed to be a nice little hot rod. And they supposedly respond very well to porting as well. I mean, Pat has also, he's got a lot of footage of a ported 262 XP that he did that is really strong. And so hopefully I'll be able to make this run really well if it doesn't run really well right now. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to go get the air filter and put it back on, and then I'll tune it up and we'll see how she does in the wood. I'm excited about this. Do I think that it's going to be actually strong in the state that it's in? No, I don't. But, I mean, maybe it'll surprise me. You never know. Okay, here we go. I've already got it tuned up pretty darn good. She's running good. Let's do some cutting. That is an all right little number right there. That really is. It's a nice, small, compact chassis. It's not super small though. It feels a little bit heavier than a 55. I think it is a little bit bigger than a 55. I'm not sure about that though. It's close. It is really close. What I'm running on here, the chain is a out-of-the-box Oregon EXL. It's cutting really good, but it doesn't cut as good as the Husqvarna C83. At least not out of the box anyways. Some of y'all might be able to get it to cut better, but that's beside the point. I'll go ahead probably and do a comparison video between it and some other things, but you have to keep in mind that this log is not good to measure by because it continues to get bigger. There's knots here and there, and so it doesn't exactly match up, and that's why I'm okay with doing a comparison video, because it's just a comparison, not an actual whack off. So this chain is going to cut slower than say a C83, but I don't know, I might have another saw with an Oregon chain. Might put it up against the Weimars 6220, which has been ported. At this point, I think that the Weimars is probably right on par power-wise with this. But that Weimars has been ported. This bone stock doesn't even have a muffler mod. Okay, so this is running really good. I'm impressed with this saw. I like this saw. I bet you ported properly, this thing's going to be a real runner. It feels nice. It really does. That's, I don't know if I'll say surprising, but considering my experience with the 257 and how I did not like it, I'm kind of surprised by this, because this is a far superior saw. In the trim that it's in right now, the stock, all stock, it's surprisingly, it's got more torque than I thought it would, and less RPMs. I figured this thing would be a little screamer, but it doesn't seem to be a screamer. Seemed to just be a good, solid little work saw. Typically, stuff like this was meant to be a really fast limbing saw, because it's not quite big enough to be a real professional felling saw or even bucking saw, really. It's not small enough to be used in a tree up in it, you know. So what was its purpose? I believe its purpose was typically for the ground man who's going through and he's delimbing a big tree that came down, you know, 18-inch limbs, maybe would be the biggest that they would tackle, but more likely 8-inch to 10-inch limbs. This is your guy. And so they typically rev higher than this is revving. I mean, it's not bad, it's not slow, but it's nothing special either. But I like it, and I think that it's going to really kick some butt whenever it's ported. I mean, I know Pat's does, or, well, he sold it. That thing was, boy, he put a 36-inch bar on that and was laying it to it, you know. That thing would run really strong. And this thing, yeah, it's got good torque I wasn't expecting that torque, you know, because that's, right there, look at that. That is eating up all 20 inches of this bar. And that's red oak. You know me, I don't roll with pine. I just don't have it. I kind of wish I had more of it, but I don't. So, anyways, she runs, eh? Yeah, runs good. Runs very good. What more can you ask for 40 bucks? All I had to do with it, besides clean it up, it was dirty as can be. Boy, it was dirty. But I cleaned it up. That chain tensioner bolt was grounded off. Grounded off. That tells me he was wanting to use some sort of other bar. So I welded a nub on there and ground it so that it would fit and work good for my chain tensioner. The pull cord needed to be tightened up. You know, I put a couple more winds on the recoil, and that gave me a nice tight recoil. A couple bolts needed to be literally just tightened up, and new spark plug. Bada bing. She runs titties. Whoop. That was a little bit too much for it. So, in the future, at some point, I'll port it up, see what she does.